Aloha everyone, what is good my dudes? Today is June 7th, 2021 and we got another RuneScape update for y'all. Today the Battle of the Monolith continues on and we see the introduction of a new cosmetic store with today's update. So let's jump right into the video, let's go.
Cats is the illest. What you talking about, Willis?
Alright guys, before we get into all that, I do want to mention that RuneScape Mobile launches on June 17th. If you are an iOS user, you probably already noticed that you do not have access to the beta no longer, unfortunately, but you'll be able to get right back into it in the full launch on the 17th. This was previously a placeholder, and they said in last week's live stream that the reason why it was placeholder and it wasn't an official launch date until now is because they still had a lot of work to do and they weren't 100% sure that they were able to release it by the 17th, but it looks like they were able to, or they are able to, and they're going to commit to it. So the full official launch is June 17th. Having said that, we're going to jump into today's content. Before we go to the Battle of the Monolith, I want to talk about the Marketplace, which is a new official store that has been added to the game. This is going to be your one-stop shop for everything you need in terms of cosmetics, bonds, oddments, all that. The aim is to bring in the entirety of any RuneScape microtransaction shopping into one place. This will run alongside Solomon's store for the time being, but it does seem like they do want to phase that out as time goes on. No new cosmetics or anything will be added to the Solomon's general store. Anything new will come through this marketplace. So it is in your extras tab where you access Treasure Hunter, Solomon's store, things like that. It has a whole new interface unique to it, and it already has a couple of cosmetics available for purchase, like a couple of pets, including a legendary pet, which does look pretty cool. And then this is also, like I said, your one-stop shop for oddments and all those other kinds of oddities as it pertains to cosmetics, microtransactions, those kinds of things. So with that out of the way, we're going to talk about the next leg in the mini quest, the Battle of the Monolith. This time around is a lot more of the same, however, there is a little difference. This time you are sent off to the Tsar City to seek the aid of the Talkhar to help you fend off the ongoing forces of the creatures emanating from the Monolith. Aside from that, it's pretty much more of the same, so don't expect anything too new or fancy. It's pretty much the same thing that you've been through throughout this month. However, they do say you want to train up for something that is right around the corner. I don't think it's going to be next week, but probably sometime next month. But you're going to want to have 75 Slayer, 74 Archaeology, and 74 Magic for what I assume is the next leg or the next step in this Elder God War saga, and it is coming shortly. So if you aren't those levels, do try to train up for it if you want to stay on top of this storyline. Having said that, the last thing I want to touch on before we look at the patch notes is there's going to be an extended downtime for the servers on June 9th. That is this Wednesday. They said they're going to do a little brush up on their system to make sure that they are completely protected from any potential future login lockouts. They said they've already made plenty of improvements to add additional protection, but this extra push is to fully eliminate the possibility of it ever happening again. And for that reason, there's going to be an extended downtime of about 6 hours on June 9th, running from 7 a.m. game time. So you won't be able to play for those 6 hours on Wednesday, starting 7 a.m. game time. Just wanted to make that clear so you know ahead of time. With that, we're going to now shift on over to the patch notes and see what's been added with today's update. So let's go ahead and check it out. Starting off with the Yak to the Light, they fixed a typo with the Blade of Saildor, fixing an issue where the individual Sarin crystal armor pieces were showing twice in the wardrobe and the dark crystal pieces not being shown at all. When starting Yak to the Light, your progress through Yak to the Basics is now correctly displayed. Previously, when players tried to purchase the Premier Pass or the Yak track skips from the Yak to the Light interface, they were given the message, this package is unavailable. That's been fixed. Moving on to mobile, the mobile controls interface has been updated to use the new icons. Mobile beta, the Black Hole Experience section of the Gower quest has been improved. The puzzle can now be solved by searching the correct place with the required item in your backpack. This removes the need to use an object from the backpack on a place that is obscured by the UI. Moving on to some other changes. On the achievement interface, if the prerequisites for an achievement are not met, but the achievement is completed, for example by boosting stat prerequisites, the achievement will display as complete instead of locked. Some gaps have been stitched up in the Scarlet Thief's outfit on feminine characters. Action bars now update correctly when clearing slots or switching between them. The empty tile now appears correctly on the slider puzzle boxes. With quick prayers and curses, they fixed an issue that prevents the selected highlights from disappearing when deselecting a quick prayer. For pull scores, they fixed the issue that prevents the X graphic from disappearing when deselecting a skill. Fixed a typo where Anachronia was in lowercase under the achievement description for been there, done that, got the postcard. The endurance mode prerequisite for the Sunshade achievement now correctly shows 25 floors where previously it was 14. Fixed an issue with misaligned text in the settings interface. The red Cerberus armor tokens that are displayed on the Cerberus Rush info screen in Treasure Hunter will now correctly show the red token variants when hovered over. Fixed issues with the ceremonial sword tutorial. Sten is now in the right place during the animation, and the respect percentage box no longer disappears after exiting or completing the tutorial. The achievement 61 Shades of Red is now marked as complete once the Demonheim Slayer log has been completed. This also unlocks the title The Blood Rager. You can no longer wear a Gobi mask and an underwater disguise kit at the same time. Quest journal objectives for one piercing notes are no longer highlighted after completing the quest. You now receive coins after using alchemy when borrowed power is set to high alchemy and the alchemist amulet is in the backpack. Elves in the Arandar passage now take damage from the bladed dive and also respond with an attack. Grizzly Bear's death animation has been fixed. A wall near Varrock Palace now has correct collision. Resolved an issue with the legacy interface mode that was causing the additional action bar to be hidden if the chat was also hidden. Fixed an issue with the animation for the planting flag rest animation. And finally, Blackstone arrows are no longer consumed when using abilities on a target that's already at the maximum debuff. That is it for your patch notes. Links to everything discussed in this video will be down in the description below. Head on over there, check them out if you wish to do so. With that, I'm going to wrap up the video. If you enjoyed it, hit that like button. If you're not subscribed yet and you want to stay up to date on all things RuneScape related, hit that subscribe button. I appreciate you watching. I am out. Aloha.